How can you prepare for the festive season in a better way, especially if you struggle with long-term insomnia or sleep problems? So in this video, we're really going to look at proactive ways that you can actually help your body and your mind to get through this often very busy time at the end of the year. And you can actually get to the beginning of the year without really feeling that sort of exhaustion and extreme tiredness that a lot of professionals end up feeling after a very busy time. So this video and the suggestions that I'm going to make aren't just going to relate to December, but they're actually going to relate to other times of the year that you might be going through certain festivities. It can relate to sometimes summer months as well. But in this particular scenario, we're really going to look at sort of the Christmas, New Year's Eve, and so on. And again, this video is going to be for those of you who struggle with long-term sleep problems. So if you've got a couple of nights of not so good sleep, this is probably not going to be the best video for you to watch. But if you have had longer-term sleep problems, we're really going to look at some of those dynamics. So thank you for watching this video. Hit the like button below, subscribe, and hit that little bell as well so I can make sure that you are notified when I post new videos. And if you are returning, thank you so much for continuous support. If you are new to my channel, then let me just introduce myself. So my name is Beatrix Schmidt. I'm a sleep coach, a professional speaker, and also the creator of the Sleep Skills for Life program, which is very much a roadmap and a step-by-step practical course to take you from struggling with ongoing sleep problems, insomnia, or even long-term sleep problems, all the way to developing those practical tools and techniques that I often used to just be able to share with my one-to-one clients, but now I'm able to support people like you in a group environment. So the program is very much about helping you to develop those practical things so that you can develop those skill sets, hence Sleep Skills for Life, that will help you to really enjoy great quality sleep for many years to come. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the details below and you can look at what we include within the program. So let's start looking at how you can actually really prepare for the holiday and festive season in advance. And I think one of the first things I wanted to start with is when I work with clients, and again within the group setting as well, we started talking about this preparation, started really looking at how you can help yourself to not end up really being exhausted, burnt out, and extremely tired at the end of the year. The first thing I look at is consistency. So how can you help your body and your mind and even your emotions to remain a little bit more consistent? So let me give you an example. Often, obviously, leading up to Christmas and New Year's Eve as well, especially, you might have actually more social commitments, or there might be more pressure to catch up with people. I remember times when I had lots and lots of different invitations to different events, but it's all about helping your body to remain consistent so that the sleep doesn't get messed up even more. So how do you do that? Now, often when I work with clients, we start with looking at what is that time that you think sleep in. So firstly, looking at your 24 hours and where does sleep fit in. If you end up overcommitting, what tends to happen is you actually shuffle sleep around you and you might not have enough time frame to even fit that good quality sleep in, or at least enough amount of sleep. Now, again, if you're struggling with sleep problems, there's going to be other problems around that as well. But first, we got to start with having a window of opportunity for you to get that really good quality sleep. And either side of that, and there are different videos on different type of suggestions that I make when it comes to evening preparation and also your morning. So then we've got to look at adding either time either side of your sleep, so preparation in the evening and your morning as well, so that you can really actually help and support your body to create that consistency. And then the other thing we got to look at is not overcommitting. Already I've had a couple of clients who were saying, suddenly they feel like they're doing too much and they might not have time to do some of those self-care things that we have put in place. So this is about self-awareness and choosing what you are deciding to commit to. You can't do everything within a 24-hour time period. We've all got 24 hours in the day that we want to utilize. So I want you to take a step back and think about, what would you prefer? Rather than committing to everything and maybe saying yes to everything, who do you actually really want to see and maybe catch up with or hang out with as we're leading up to either Christmas or the end of the year as well? And this is a really important part, because often we end up saying yes to things, but when we actually get to certain events or even catch-ups, we end up feeling like, actually, I would have liked to do something else instead. So it becomes sometimes that regret game of, I didn't really want to do this, but I felt like I should have. So take a step back and really think about what is the best thing for you. And then communicate it to the other people to say, the reason I might have made this or the other decision or saying no to something is because actually I am going through a time where my sleep isn't great and it really would actually push me way too far. And most people are actually very understanding. But it's about communication skills as well. So how do you actually tell other people about it? Often when we share honestly, people tend to understand, and then it actually builds the relationship and the support system you have too. The next thing here is really looking at, what do you end up doing during those couple of weeks? Is it maybe that it involves some traveling? Is it that maybe you are going to sleep in a different environment? If you do end up sleeping in a different environment, again, you've got to prepare your body and your mind to it. I remember times when I used to travel more, and often I would go away around the holiday season. I had to prepare my body for it so that my sleep actually could settle in quicker in a new environment. So what are the things that can help you? First of all, your habits leading up to sleep. Your mind is very clever that way. So you can actually transfer the habits you already got that are helping you into new environments. They don't require you to take physical things. These are habits, routines, maybe even, like I mentioned in previous video as well, having a little bit of a chat with yourself before and leading up to going to bed to say, right, okay, the day has finished. It's my time to rest and relax. So these are very good ways, internal ways. So you don't need to pack things into your suitcase. These are internal ways that you can actually transfer those good habits and routines into a new environment. Another thing here is obviously food or eating habits and drinking habits. So food, drinks, and how you look after yourself in terms of a physical way. So Christmas generally as one holiday, but again, you might have different holidays depending on your religion, background, and culture, and so on, generally tend to involve food and different sort of drinking habits as well. So how many times we might actually sit down, let's say for a particular dinner as a get-together, and we end up overeating. So again, look at really how you respond to some of these social commitments. Is it that maybe actually you end up drinking a little bit too much alcohol and then it starts messing up your sleep even more? Or is it maybe that you overeat and then the physical signs of that might be a little bit of a heartburn or feeling bloated or feeling really heavy, which means that, again, if you're going to bed unprepared, meaning you've actually just consumed too much either food or let's say alcohol or other drinks, that's gonna mess around sleep as well. Eating and drinking habits are ways that the body either creates energy or is able to know that what time is the day of the day it is. So the more we tend to load up our physical system late in the evening, the less likely your body is actually going to be focusing on sleep. It might be actually focusing on digesting and dealing with all the food and the drinks that you might have had. And this can also lead to nighttime disturbances as well. If you had too much to drink, it can even be non-alcoholic things, then maybe that ends up being a toilet break in the middle of the night. So again, be proactive about it. Go into certain situations, social commitment, with an intention. simple things like putting your cutlery down on the table actually helps you to eat slower. This is one of the things I mention to my clients when we come up to social commitments and really work through those. Again, having sips of water in between maybe consuming alcohol is going to help the body to balance out. So they're just little things that you can do, incorporate, that will actually help you to get through the end of December time much easier and better and more supportive to your sleep and even your physical health as well. Another thing here is emotions. Now, whether or not this time of the year for you is a very positive time, or maybe for you it's actually not so much a positive time. So from my family background, unfortunately, my mom has passed away at the end of the year last year, which means that actually I already started feeling at the end of November some of those emotions rising up, and you might have had some of those things happen with you, for you, to you over the years as well. So it's important to acknowledge how you feel. As I'm coming and approaching this time of the year, for me it's very much about grounding myself again and really taking a stock of how well the year has gone. And I'm actually really proud of myself for how I've gone through the grieving period. And again, there's a video on my YouTube channel that I recorded before about grieving and sleep, and how I actually supported myself emotionally. Christmas, again, is going to be an emotional time, but when we actually allow ourselves that time to recover and to really build up those maybe neutral or more positive emotions, then actually we can get through the holiday season much better. And if you are more on the positive emotion range around this time, then it's about calming yourself down. So it's about actually integrating maybe some more relaxing type exercises so that you don't get hyped up emotionally so much. And I've seen this with clients over the years as well. It can either be very low emotions, it can be actually much higher, very buzzy emotions, being super excited about things. That can take quite a bit out of the body as well. So, and then when it comes to really looking at the 24-hour, just like I mentioned within the day, is looking at recovery as well. So if you've overcommitted, you're gonna probably need a little bit more time to recover, especially if you don't sleep really well during the night as well. So we really got to look at what are the steps that you have to take that leads up to a good quality sleep, no matter what happens. And the festive season, the holiday season, can be a very good example of how sometimes we actually just really throw those boundaries out the window because we either overcommit or feel like we have to do a lot of different things or prepare or catch up with people and so on. So prepare ahead. When you go into this next couple of weeks with an intention of looking after yourself, every day maybe taking a few minutes to actually really figure out how can I create a better consistency with sleep, for example, and how can I make sure that I actually maybe prepare for sleep in a much more proactive way. And if you need certain advice on that, there's plenty of videos on this channel where I look at different scenarios, especially when it comes to long-term sleep problems. So these are a couple of things that I wanted to mention when it comes to this time of the year. The other thing I also wanted to say is that don't regret things. So this is another thing that I actually just recently spoke to a client about, because they have actually gone and enjoyed a couple of social commitments, and then it ended up being like, oh gosh, it actually put my sleep on the not so much on the on the front of my thinking. But if you enjoyed something, don't regret it. Obviously recoup, give yourself time to recover, but it's important to not go back into maybe judgment or regretting or those negative things once something is done. It's done, you've done it, it's over. Now it's about proactively looking at one day at a time, one step at a time to get back to your normality. So that's the last piece within this preparation for this time of the year. So I hope this video has helped. I know this was a little bit more general video. I do talk about these things, but these are some of those things that actually really become quite actually important when it comes to how to proactively prepare for the holiday season that's coming up. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video and you picked up a couple of suggestions, even if it's just, okay, I didn't quite think about maybe looking after myself a little bit better, or maybe being a little bit more proactive about what I say yes to and what I say no to, then hit the like button, come into the comments, let me know what are you planning to do as you approaching this time of the year. What are the things that you're actually going to promise yourself that you are going to do to make sure that you don't end up being exhausted at the end of the year when we kick off the new year? You want to come into the new year in a better way. And of course, if you need help with your sleep, then there are other resources on my website as well that can help you get through this time of the year in a better way.